Hello and welcome to my channel Amstermadathil. I am your host Amster. This is a new series where we will be reacting to the ongoing F1 season races. So we have the starter of Bahrain race, and we will be joined up with some comments regarding the race by one of my friend who is a F1 fan. And let's get started with the reaction, guys. This race was amazing. Look at the start of the race where we had the qualifying. Amazing, where it was truly battle on Red Bull versus Mercedes. But finally, at the end of the race, as you can know by the disappointing sound of my voice, it's Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes on top. But however, we can say that there is a small silver lining of this where, oh, the Red Bull has caught up a lot. As in the pre-race, post-race interview with Verstappen was talking like, okay, we cannot be like this and all. But then itself, he changed to a different tone and said that, okay, this is a different reaction that we are giving from the previous year last race where we were in a good position, similar position, and we were like, okay, this is much better, we have closed in the gap with the Mercedes and so on. It was really good to see that. But the tragedy of this race was Red Bull had a lot of issues. First of all, in the formation lap itself, Sergio Perez had been switched off. His complete car got stalled, I guess. So it was not a perfect start for the race itself for the team. So it looked very bad, but still, he had to start from the pits, and then it all just blistered away. He and Max showed that that car had the pace to get back on top. So Max on at front was doing great job keeping Hamilton at bay, keeping other cars at bay, even Bottas at bay, who was not, by the end, it was not a big deal of an attack, but the top was going really good. The battle between Max and Hamilton was excellent. And also, this race has given us hope that this complete season should be something similar. So I hope that race goes, the further races go like this itself. And from my friend, he was like, yeah, Red Bull has done blunders uh, in the race, and they did blunders, but since Max Verstappen is Max Verstappen, he just recovered from that. Too much talk about the top runners. We will head into a resilient or rising from the ashes, you can say, like a moment for the team Ferrari, where they qualified pretty high. Leclerc showing his absolute skills from last year onwards. Last year also, where he was showing that with his driving skills, he can just take it to another level. That car, which was under par, where there was no performance in the straights, they were having a draggy car, but still they came back and they have brought in a great update from the 2020 F1 car, as they have lost very less, what you can say, seconds with respect to the rest of the complete grid regarding the pace points. But they were looking really good, and Sainz, as his first race, was looking interesting, but he needs to get used to the car and different ways, I guess. And a lot of debutants, Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin, Yuki Tsunoda, all these people have done great things. But the standout person for me in that debut was Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda was like blistering through the field, where he even took his first points finish in the race. Just remember, first points finish inside the race in your first race. That is great from Yuki Tsunoda. So that was a great thing, and we had a small battle between the Ferraris and McLarens, now called as the midfield runners, and Alfa Romeo also showing great respect of making the sturdy comeback of them into the midfield fight, as last year their power, Haas's power and Ferrari's power was significantly hit by the inside contract that they did between FIA and Ferrari. So they have come back really good. Ricardo is looking really powerful, or not completely comfortable, but was looking really good when it came to his race. Had the pace at the first, but as he said in his post race commentary, that he lost out his pace as the race went on. But the biggest person that I want to pull out is again Red Bull driver Sergio Perez. He was at the back of the track, started from the pit lane, gained a lot of positions, and finally he was on top 5. He was the fifth. He finished fifth in his race, and that is, and given the driver of the race, driver of the day, he was looking good. He was looking comfortable with the car, and he was just cutting through the field like butter, like knife cutting through a butter. This all were going, and at top again when after all this fiasco of playing for the overcut and Red Bull blundering their strategies by putting Max Verstappen too long out on the racetrack, and Max Verstappen was really mad at the end of the first pit stop, where Hamilton even crossed him for about 10 seconds gap, and that did not look as a great perspective from Red Bull strategies point of view. So they need to work on their strategies for Verstappen and for Sergio Perez. But Sergio Perez was doing his thing, great work. And the underwhelming people that I saw was Nikita Mazepin. In the first lap itself, he blundered it. There was nobody near him. He just spun. His rear just took off as he tried to throttle from that third corner, I guess. Yeah, third corner, and he just banged into the barriers. And similar to Mick Schumacher, but we cannot say much about Mick Schumacher because the car, and to Mazepin, that the car that they have is not as much confident as a person who is a Formula 1 driver would want it to be. So I would say that car is underwhelming, as Haas is only looking for just to finish off this season and are already looking at the 2022. I would say the second best team that after the Mercedes and Red Bull, who was looking really good, is McLaren. McLaren looked amazing. They looked like a team to be beat. So they are already in the midfield battle. If possible, if Ricciardo finds his mojo and Lando Norris is sticking with him also, Lando Norris does not lose out to his mojos also, they can be a good top tier car, maybe with the Mercedes engine update. So let's see if that's going in that direction. And it's a similar response from my F1 fan friend. He also says that if this race is the prequel of the complete season, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And he also says that uh, Yuki Tsunoda is one of the good, or one of the gem that we have found in this race, being very consistent, finally finishing in the points, and all these going in their direction. And he also said the resurgence of the Ferrari from last year has done a great job of building up pace, but they are not up to the pace of the current forerunners, which is Red Bull and Mercedes. So it should be said that they just need to come back. They just need to make improvements. And another thing that I would say is the final race ending, where Max actually overtook the place, but somehow, due to him being pushed outside, he has left the track completely, and it was on the 54th lap, and Max did not have much amount of pace, not pace, you can say much amount of time to fight back and try to get back the lead. So finally, Lewis Hamilton wins the race with the closest battle with Max Verstappen, and that's going really good. And I would say Red Bull needs to get their strategies right. And we had a small portion where the previous drivers of the Ferrari and the new latest driver of the Ferrari having a small battle, which is Fernando Alonso, Vettel, and Sainz, as a small battle for about, I think, one sector, and that was really good. That was a really interesting small portion where we can see the transition between the Ferrari drivers that happened in the past few years, from Fernando to Vettel to Sainz. In between, Charles is there. Charles is one of the consistent drivers. And what I can say is, finally, is that Vettel has lost his mojo completely, I guess, because his blunder of underbraking and hitting into Ocon was, I think, a nail on his coffin. And I hope he recovers from that pretty quickly, because we want to see the tough, unbeaten per Vettel that we usually see. Yeah, so that is the race review or race reaction from my side, where the race looks amazingly great. The race was absolutely gorgeous, with that close battle with the on the top and midfield being so tightly packed. And I hope this type of, and I have been saying this for the past complete video, if this is the prequel for this race or complete season, it is going to be absolutely great for this season. Awesome, and thank you. Like, subscribe, share to my channel. Hope you have a great time. Until the next race, see you. Goodbye.